Hello and welcome to Got Clutter, Get Organized, a conversation. I am just so happy because today we have a declutter coach, Kate Evans, and she's really going to talk to us about how we can kind of enter into the new year with less stuff. So, how many of you out there watching and listening want to do that? So, Kate, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here, Janet. I love talking to you, so I'm just looking forward to chatting.
I am too. So, before we get into the chat about the decluttering before the new year, what made you decide to become a declutter coach?
This really started back, gosh, in 2018 when I decluttered my own home. And when I had gotten through that, I felt so good. And I'm a psychologist and a life coach, and I realized if I felt this good, I wanted everybody else to feel this good. And I saw the psychological connection between this uncluttered, tidy home that I had created. And so I wanted to include decluttering into the work that I was already doing. And
Mm.
so decluttering coaching became my next passion project, you could say. So there you go.
Yay for everyone out there who definitely needs a declutter coach. So, one of the things that I found very interesting about you was when you celebrated your birthday, when you went into your new year, you really
Mhm.
got rid of things. So, was there something that triggered that, or was it something that you just usually do? And I'm asking you that because, we're going into a new year. And of course, I know somebody's out there like, I need to just get rid of some stuff.
So you're talking about when I celebrated my birthday this year?
Yes.
Yes, my 50th birthday. Woo! Uh,
Yay.
my, half a century on this planet. So, what I really did, because I don't have a ton of physical items anymore to remove, although I do continue, decluttering is an ongoing process. And I think everyone needs to understand that. You don't just declutter once and bang, you're done with this thing. You keep going. So, of course, I continue to have physical items that I release. What I really had was more mental and emotional things to release. And I had a slightly unfortunate experience in that a week before my 50th birthday, I contracted COVID for the first time. It was no fun. Although the having my husband slip me tea and food and whatnot, through the door, kind of just shoving it at me for a week was funny. I ended up then with long COVID, and at first the fatigue and everything seemed to be normal, but it turned out that migraines and full body tremors are not normal. And it was my body telling me it was time to declutter obligations. It was time to declutter stress. It was time to remove anything excess that was straining my mental and emotional self. So I slowly just started stripping away anything that was not absolutely necessary. And I spent this summer really just doing what was absolutely necessary. And it was a very quiet summer. I stripped away the social obligations. I really didn't do anything extra for my business. I saw my clients, which really I just love seeing my clients so much that did
Mhm.
not take from me energetically. I spent time at home with my husband and my cats. And I did visit each of my parents. But beyond that, I read a lot of books, a lot of books. And I really leaned into my intuitive self so that there was less and less of the clutter of the shoulds The
Mm.
have tos,
Mm.
the ought tos, the obligations, as I mentioned before, all of that stuff. So everything that I've been living in for the last few months has really been the I feel, I want to, this is what's right, this is what my body is telling me to, this is what my mental and emotional self is telling me to. So it's been a very interesting last few months and really really necessary, kind of on the heels of a couple of years that were very much about have to, shoulds,
Mm-hmm.
obligations, and things. I think I
Mm-hmm.
kind of burned
Mm-hmm.
myself out. So, yes, decluttering is not just about your physical stuff, it is oftentimes about these less tangible, not so material items
Mm-hmm.
in yourself, in your
Mm-hmm.
life.
And I understand that, Kate, because it's interesting because you turned 50. So last, like in 2023, I turned 60.
Oh,
And
I love it.
and it's interesting because right before I turned 60, I got very sick. But I kept pushing
Really?
myself. I got the
Ooh,
upper
girl.
respiratory thing. It's like,
Mm.
and it lasted. And I was so afraid because my birthday was in September, and I was so afraid. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to spend Thanksgiving with my godchildren. But
Oh.
and so it lasted like about 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. And that taught me the lesson, like you, was like, you know what? Because I kept pushing myself. I'm like, well, I got to do this and I got to do that. But now it's like when I begin to get a little tired or the little scratchy throat, it's like, you know what, Janet? Just do what you can do. And I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes we need to tell ourselves that because we're so used, especially in this end of the year is that rush to get everything done before December 31st, whether it's the stuff for work, whether it's, oh my goodness, I got to get the decorations up. The decorations aren't up for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, and I got to do this, and oh my goodness, I got to cook the cookies and do this and that. So, and it's all of that. So you're right. A lot of times, letting go is more than just the physical stuff. We got to let go of. I should be doing this, and because sometimes I tell people our calendars can get as crowded and as full as our closets and our junk drawers. So thank you so much for
Mm-hmm.
sharing that. Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, thank you.
Yes.
So for somebody who just has heard what you said
Mm-hmm.
and who's really thinking about the stuff that they really need to let go,
Mm-hmm.
but they're getting a little overwhelmed because they're like, well, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
hear Kate because, yeah, I should, my calendar looks a mess, but then also so does my closet. So, Kate, what should I do? So, how should they like approach it as we get near a new year, letting go of stuff, but not getting overwhelmed?
So let's say you're going into the new year and you're wanting to set like some goals of releasing some material items, but you're also feeling kind of overwhelmed by that. And so you can combine this whole thing of decluttering your mental and emotional space as well as decluttering your closet, let's say, by coming at your closet in at a very slow pace. So I actually have a client who is at the tail end of decluttering her two-bedroom closets. And this has taken her, I want to say it's taken her 3 weeks now. And these were not large closets, but we agreed she would go at a pace that made sense for her instead of the it had taken her so much time to even get to it. She kept on coming up with every reason under the sun not to do it. And it was always like doing something for somebody else. Her sister would need something, her mom would need something, her aunt would need something, her son, she would do something for her husband, whatever it was. And I may or may not have chastised her a little bit about this. And she got down and dirty and she has gotten in there and is looking so fantastic. But the reason is looking fantastic is because she has taken it slowly. She got rid of her shoulds, she got rid of her have tos, she got rid of her, the guilt and shame and all of that. And she took it at this slow pace. So it was, she took one side of one of the closets, and she took the shoes on another day, and she took all of her Lillian Vernon purses on another day. And actually, all she did was empty all of them because they seem to have just all been filled with receipts for some reason. And she just kept on coming at each thing slowly. And she actually took all of her hanging items and put them on a rolling rack and put them in a different room. And then the rolling rack collapsed. So she went out and got a new rolling rack that was a little sturdier, and then put everything back on it, and then cut it down to about a quarter of what she had. So when you come at these things, so when you come at your goal in the new year, I want you to give yourself permission to go at it slowly. So I want you to go into this next year slowly. That is the way to not overwhelm yourself. And this culture of ours is so much about doing more, doing more, doing more. You're going to achieve more. You're going to do more. I am tired of commercials that tell me to do more, to achieve more, to go faster. I'm tired of it, Janet.
Mm-hmm. I
And at,
understand.
and at the new year, it's commercial after commercial of this because they're like, oh, New Year's resolutions. We're going to encourage people to do lots and lots of stuff. And we're going to get them into the gym, and we're going to do all. I'm tired of it. I want everyone to be gentle with themselves in this new year.
Yes, I hear you. And you're right about going slow because I'm working with a client. Her mother passed away and she passed away a few years ago. Well, now she's ready to go into the closet. Her father still lives in the home. She's moved out.
Okay.
And like you, sometimes we do have to push clients. So I encouraged her and I said, we're going to do this at a pace that you feel comfortable. I says, but, and I motivated her. I says, right now, your father has no place to hang his clothes. So
Uh huh.
let's start in this closet over here. We won't tackle those closets with all your mother's stuff yet, but let's work on this one with just a few of her things. And even if right now you're not ready to get rid of all of her church hats, I understand, but at least let's make room for your dad. And she said, you know what? You're right. So now he's got room for shoes, he's got room for his hats, his ties, and that makes her feel good. And like you said, it's just a slow process. But sometimes we know they need just a little gentle push. And then sometimes, like, look, your dad's got his stuff on the chair and on the, this and that and the other. Let's put, especially when dad's in his 90s. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So and I understand with all the rush because I saw something, Kate, and it was about the word lazy has gotten a bad
Oh,
rap
oh, don't even get me started about the word lazy. That is a
because
dirty word. That is a four-letter word.
it's like okay, so I just want to pause for a minute. Can I pause? Can I just stop? Can I have all of this stuff, but I need to pause. I need to just you know just take it easy. So I do understand. I do not tell people. People look at me like I've got I guess three or four eyes when I say multitasking is not always that good.
It's not, the human brain can only think about one thing at a time. The human brain is not actually designed to think about more than one thing at a time. So when we try to think about multiple things at a time, we're actually just bouncing between multiple different things. And so we wear ourselves out. So,
Hmm.
how about you think about the thing that you're working on right now? When you're done with that, then you can move on to the next one, and you're going to give so much more attention, and you're going to do that one with so much more grace and beauty, and it's going to be done to the level that you really want it to be done, instead of kind of not so great on five different things.
Hmm. Hmm.
And again, our culture is encouraging us to be on our phones while watching TV, while cooking dinner, and I'm not saying that there aren't times when we do kind of have to keep track of multiple things
Hmm.
at one time.
Hmm.
But like when you're decluttering, I would rather that you took 15 minutes to just focus on the task at hand
Mm-hmm.
and then set it aside and be really good with the fact that you did 15 minutes and then go on with the rest of your day, then that you are flitting between like a little bit here and then you go and do something else and you come back and you come go do something else and come back. That is crazy making.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Be here, be present, engage in mindfulness. In this next year, make a commitment to yourself and your own mind and your peacefulness, and just be here, be now. I
Mm-hmm.
promise you're actually going to get more done.
So true. So true. And I hope you've been taking notes and listening because that is the best way to tackle an organizing project. Be present. Take your time. Don't go from one room to the next, to the next, to the next, and then you're like, I never get anything done. Mm-hmm. Present. Present in that moment in that room. So, Kate, how do you stay organized? Because you're helping other people. You coach people. You work with them one on one. You have a spouse, a family. So, how do you like manage it all? And then, of course, you're focusing on your health.
I keep it super simple and I keep it small. That is the only way I can do it. And it was really what I learned or maybe began learning
Mm-hmm.
when I
Mm-hmm.
decluttered my home.
Mm-hmm.
I never have a large purse any longer.
Oh
My
yeah.
purse is a little wristlet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I shove things in there. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
going to pretend I don't. I used to have like the Mary Poppins purse,
Oh yeah.
and I don't do that any longer because the larger your purse, the more
Mm-hmm.
stuff you jam in it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a smaller home. I actually wish I had a smaller home than the home I have. It's 1,400 square feet, two stories on a slab, 1.5 bath, three bedrooms. I wish it was half the size that it is actually. The
Mm-hmm.
larger the home that you have, the more stuff you can stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I keep everything as simple as I can. I have routines. Every morning I have the same basic routine gets done, that gets my face washed, that gets my cats fed, that gets my walk in, my yoga done, my bed made, my dishes done, my tea drunk, those sorts of things. I utilize a cleaning lady. I love my cleaning lady because she uh, she kind of does the basics,
Mm-hmm.
and so because of that, then my energies can go elsewhere. I can spend my time writing, I can spend my time working on my business, I can go for a walk, whatever it might be. But everything is and then contained. The things that belong in the living room stay in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are cat toys everywhere in my house,
Well,
but that
that's
has nothing to
understand.
do with organization. That is
That's right.
just my cats move things.
Yeah,
Um, but really, when it comes down to it, even my closet is small. I have 4 feet of hanging space in my closet.
I
That's
think.
it.
Yeah, I think we both probably had about the same size closet. My
Mhm.
closet is like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's in my dresser. There are two of those drawers are dedicated to jewelry that I don't even actually wear all of it. It's probably going to end up being condensed, or it's going to end up being an empty drawer. I'm slowly like getting less and less clothing. It's kind of funny. But so it's less and less space
Mm-hmm.
utilized for things. So I have less clothing, so fewer decisions have to be made because decision fatigue
Yep.
comes when
Mm-hmm.
you've got too much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So organization comes with having less stuff, so you don't have overly complicated organizational systems. And so when for me, I really need to have organizational systems that have as few steps as humanly possible.
Oh, yes.
Now, there are some brains out there that really enjoy having many small little steps. I am not going to say that there aren't some people who really
Oh, yeah.
benefit from those little steps because not
Mm-hmm.
everybody's brain works the same way. For
Mm-hmm.
me, if there are too many steps, I will not do them. I will forget that they existed and things will fall to heck. So, yeah,
I
small,
understand.
simple
Mm-hmm.
routines. That's really my life. It is terribly boring, but
No, it's
I
not, Kate.
love
It's
it.
not boring
I
because I
love it.
follow you on Instagram, so it's not boring. But something you said reminded me of something my mother said. Because one day, when I years ago, and I'm looking through my closet, and then I just couldn't decide what to wear, and she said, "If you only had one dress, you wouldn't be going through this." I was like, "What?"
Smart mama.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she is.
Yep.
Yes, she was. So, Kate, how can people connect with you?
So you can find me on my website at soulfulspacecoaching.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at soulful space. No, wait a minute. What is my
That's all
what is
right.
my handle?
That's.
Soulfulspace.coaching. I swear to
Hmm.
goodness,
Hmm.
that's what it is. You can email me directly at kate@soulfulspacecoaching.com. Any of those places. And I do have a newsletter that is easily signed up for at soulfulspacecoaching.com/newsletter. I have lots of goofy stories from my own life that connect to everything that has to do with decluttering your mind, your life, your home, etc. That comes out honestly right now as I'm kind of re-entering the world. I kind of re-entered the world this fall, and everything's still a little hit or miss.
I
But
understand. I understand.
please do join me and take care of yourselves.
Yes. And of course, I am a subscriber to her newsletter, so it is fabulous. And of course, I will have all of Kate's, social media handles, how you connect with her on her at her website, but also I'll have her email address in the show page notes. So Kate, thank you so much. It's always a great opportunity just to have a conversation with you. So thank you.
Thank you again, Janet. Yes, I feel exactly the same way. It's such a delight at any time to get to chat with you. Thank you. Thank you.